Jinjoo, welcome
Thank
to
you.
the 5th Schoenfeld International String Competition.
Thank you very much.
And this is special because you were a winner
Yeah.
in the
very first
Schoenfeld
edition.
International String Competition. So I want to start by talking about that and that experience and
Sure.
how the Schoenfeld competition changed your career.
Well, I was sort of in between things when I did the Schoenfeld competition. My teacher, Jamie Laredo, saw the advertisement actually in Musical America and cut out the piece and gave it to me and, said, Jinjoo, I think you should really try this one. It's the first time it's ever been done, but these are influential musicians the competition is named after. So I think, you should try and see if you can perform some of your repertoire. So I did, and it was an amazing experience, yeah.
So now when you went into the competition, talk a little bit about your preparation of it. Did you go in saying, okay, I need to prepare all the rounds, I'm going in to win it? Or was it more like, I just want the experience of playing on a big international stage?
Well, by the time that I had done Schoenfeld, I had already done quite a lot of international competitions before. So the repertoire list was actually it felt a little bit more condensed than the other competitions. It was a shorter recital, and I believe it was, at the time, not a concerto work at the end, maybe, but a series of virtuoso works. So it was a good opportunity for me to really dive deep into those works, and it prepared me for a lot of performances coming up afterwards. And I don't know, it was a nice learning experience to really focus on those selected pieces of repertoire, yeah.
So now we've come full circle. So now you're a jury member.
Yeah.
And you've performed in the gala,
Yeah.
and you're giving a master class later this week. So now talk about being on the other side, being on the other side of the stage and being a jury member. What sorts of things do you look for in a young violinist who is basically in your shoes several years ago?
Right. Well, first of all, it's just an incredible honor to begin with, to be invited back and to sit at the jury's table. It certainly gives a very interesting perspective because it only seems like yesterday that I was still competing and doing the whole circuit and things. So it's a very eye-opening experience, and honestly, my favorite thing about being at the jury's table at any competition is to listen to violin music all day long. Honestly, it's just such a privilege to listen to such high level of violin playing all day long for 2 weeks. It's just a dream, and I think it opens up your ears quite a bit as a teacher and as a performer as well. I'm still performing quite a lot, and I am a young teacher, so it's just indispensable experience to have the privilege to come here and sit and listen to these exceptional young violinists back to back to back to back, because you start to notice, oh, that really makes the difference. That detail that doesn't seem like a lot in the lesson room, it actually does make a difference when you have such high caliber violinists in a row. So it's just your ears become much more awakened, and I think you just hear a lot more after these kinds of experiences. So as a young teacher, it's amazing. Yeah.
So now I know it's your first time in Harbin.
Yeah.
And you got to experience the concert hall and the Harbin Symphony and the Harbin Conservatory. So talk about what you've noticed in this city and things that have stood out to you.
Right. Well, we've been busy at the competition, so we didn't have a lot of opportunities to see the city yet. But what I've known so far is that people are incredibly welcoming, and they're happy to see this musical event happen in their city. So I think that I speak for everyone on the jury and the contestants that we have felt very warm energy within the city towards this organization and towards this competition and towards this event. So it's just a privilege. And as a Korean person, this city holds a special place because it has a historical meaning to us, during the colonial times. And so I've always been very curious about the city, what does it look like? What is the vibe like? So to actually see it in person is a little surreal, actually. Yeah.
So now with this competition and it being in Harbin, talk a little bit about how you think that it's important to have this kind of connection with the Schoenfeld competition and Harbin and placing it on an international map.
Sure, sure. I think that in order for any city to thrive, it needs a really vibrant art scene. We think that finance and logistics makes a city vibrant and livable and pleasant to reside in, but it's actually without the arts, it sort of misses the breathing heart of its soul. So to have an international event of this caliber in this city, I think that they know the value of it, and like I said before, we certainly feel that they appreciate it very much. And what was the second part of the question? I'm sorry.
About how the competition and the city coming together, how important it is for Harbin and international competitions in general.
Of course, yeah. And I think that every competition that I've gone to so far, for example, Queen Elizabeth in Brussels, or indie competition in Indianapolis, or Montreal competition in Montreal, it has a significant place in its cultural landscape of that city. So I hope that, an exceptional quality event like this brightens the city in Harbin, and I think it already does. So it's a significant, I don't know, I think it's just a nice thing to have in a city. Yeah.
So now going back to some of these competitions, not only the Schoenfeld competition, but the ones that you'd mentioned, the one in Indianapolis and the Queen Elizabeth, all very prestigious competitions. And you yourself now being a professor of violin in Canada, what advice would you give to young people
Oh gosh.
entering a competition like this?
I don't know. I think the biggest advice is just to keep an open heart, to keep an open mind, and to know that the result of it, or even the experience of it, doesn't define you as an artist. You have to see it as sort of a beautiful stop in your entire journey, to have the context of your long career ahead of you. I think is very important. The pressure of attending and participating in a competition like this can often be a crushing experience and a very much a toil on somebody's mental health. And I just want to tell people that it doesn't have to be that way. If you enjoy it, and if you enjoy the friendships and the camaraderies that come from it, it can actually be an amazing gift to your life. Because most of my best friends, actually, that I have the privilege of being, working with in the field, I met from competitions, and we didn't meet from winners' tables. We met at losers' tables and drinking beer at hotel rooms, until 3 a.m., 4 a.m., just worrying about our future and empathizing over each other's struggles as a young professional, as a young artist. So I think that it can be a really beautiful experience of meeting people and, connecting with like-minded, goal-oriented people. So it's been an incredible gift to my life, just the experiences of having done international competitions. They're not at all negative, although sometimes difficult for you, to swallow. I mean, if you don't always win, so sometimes it's quite hard. But even that, I think it's a nice challenge to what you can do as an artist, and it makes you grow. And so it's just an amazing festivity. It's a nice festival of young people and people of all generations. So yeah.
Well, Jinjoo Cho, welcome back to the
Thank
Schoenfeld
you.
competition and welcome to Harbin. A pleasure
Thank
to
you
have
very
you here.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.